If North of Montana was its own standalone city or neighborhood, it would be the third most expensive in Los Angeles by median price after Beverly Hills and Malibu, but more expensive than Bel Air and Brentwood. Now, of course, each one of these neighborhoods also has specific pockets that are a lot more expensive. But yeah, let's take a closer look at this low-key luxurious neighborhood in the northern part of Santa Monica, which is made up of about 5,000 houses. So yeah, when people think Santa Monica is just like a bunch of super rich people, that's mostly North of Montana. I mean, Santa Monica without North of Montana, the median price for a single family house is about $2.5 million. Now, the median price in North of Montana is more than double at almost $6 million, with some houses selling for over $20 million. So yeah, when it comes to Santa Monica, there's pretty much like two types of people. Those who live north of Montana, and then there's like regular, normal people. But now for the fun stuff, let's talk alleys. So you'll notice there's a bunch of alleys in north of Montana, and if you're like me, well, the question is like, why? Now, the popular theory is that these are service alleys, and this is where you're gonna put your trash bins. Your water and gas meters are also gonna be located here, and so are the utility poles. And one of the purposes for this was aesthetics, to create a nicer streetscape in front of the house. So I'm currently in the neighborhood of Ocean Park, also in Santa Monica, which is generally older than north of Montana. Now, if we look at this street or sidewalk specifically, we'll notice that the sidewalk is mostly just made up of a bunch of concrete. It's pretty narrow. There's also no parkway or that section of grass between the street and the sidewalk. We're also gonna notice that the utility poles are sitting on the sidewalk. So to contrast that with north of Montana, you can get an idea of how some of the first buyers must have been like, what, this is gorgeous. I mean, that's pretty much a front yard in front of a front yard, and there's no utility wires flying all over the place. So yes, north of Montana has a very well-designed streetscape. But anyway, aside from nice tree-lined sidewalks, what's the attraction of north of Montana? One, in the context of Santa Monica, it's not just expensive for like the sake of being expensive. This is generally where you're gonna find some of the biggest residential lots in Santa Monica, which means bigger houses, which also means more money. Now, the median lot size here is about 30% bigger at 8,500 square feet, but you also have lots as big as 50,000 square feet, which is massive. Those are massive lots. Also, some of the best schools in Santa Monica are also located here. This section of Santa Monica is also generally more isolated and quiet, partly because you're kind of stuck in a corner between a bluff and a canyon. Also, your local commercial district, which is Montana Avenue, is one of the less touristy districts in Santa Monica, and while it's busy during the day with like a bunch of coffee shops, restaurants, and high-end boutique stores, there's not really a whole lot of nightlife here, which means less riffraff and more peace and quiet. Now, compared to the west side of Los Angeles in general, if you're looking for something in the flats, away from the mountains and the hazards that come with it, this is one of your most premium options. I mean, the most comparable neighborhood I would say would have been Pacific Palisades had the fires not happened. Today, I would say the next best comparable neighborhood is the flats of Beverly Hills. Now, the difference is the flats just has like a larger concentration of bigger lots and a median price of about $10 million compared to about $6 million in north of Montana. But as we'll see shortly, north of Montana also has like Beverly Hills, Bel Air type mansions. And by the way, my name is Daniel Rangel, real estate agent and resident of Santa Monica. If I can be of any help, it would be an honor. And for a free consultation on buying or selling, you can find my information in the description below. And if you like this video and for more Los Angeles real estate related videos, don't forget to hit like or subscribe. But so interesting fact, I don't know if you've noticed this massive center divider off of San Vicente. There used to be in the early 1900s a little electric rail line that used to run through here, and it was called the Westgate Line. And some people say that it was built to encourage the sale and construction of homes near and around Pacific Palisades. Now, unlike Beverly Hills, north of Montana is like less homogeneous in the sense that it was developed over time by different developers. So that's why you have some of the original houses that were 2 bedrooms, 1 bath on like 7,500 square foot lots. just a few blocks away from 6,000 square foot mansions on 20,000 square foot lots. So yeah, many pockets in North of Montana were not initially intended for wealthy people. It wasn't until like the 1980s, 1990s that North of Montana started taking off, with like a bunch of the smaller houses being knocked down and replaced with like mini castles. But let's take a look at 3 of these different pockets, including the most expensive. First, we have Gillette Regent Square, located between 17th Street and 21st Place. Now, interestingly, this area was developed by the founder of the Gillette Razor Company. Now, today the average house size is about 4,100 square feet, but that's almost 3 times the size of some of the original houses. And with a median price of about $6.6 million, Regent Square is generally the most expensive pocket south of San Vicente and east of 7th Street. And one of the reasons is you generally just have bigger lots here, with the typical lot size being around 9,000 square feet compared to about 7,500 square feet if you go slightly to the west. Now, there's no alleys here, which means you do need a driveway or a garage on the side of your house, but that doesn't really matter because the lot sizes here are already 10 feet wider than in some other parts in the neighborhood. This pocket is also farther away from the Montana Avenue Commercial District, which means that the streets are more intimate, less through traffic, and generally quieter. Next up, the Palisades Track, located on the western side of North of Montana, right next to the Santa Monica Bluffs and the beach. Now, this is generally where you're going to find some of the oldest houses in North of Montana, and actually one of the oldest houses still standing here is from 1905, and the current owners bought it in 1971 for $80,000. Today, that house is worth around $8.5 million, which means that during that same period, this house outperformed the S&P 500 by 100%. Now, currently, the median price in the Palisades Track is about $8 million, with the most expensive house selling for $19 million for this massive 15,000 square foot compound on a 33,000 square foot lot. And one of the reasons for the higher prices here is you generally just have bigger lots, with some as big as 37,000 square feet. Now, the proximity to the beach and Palisades Park is also a big bonus for this area. You also have a lot of historically significant architecture here. For example, there's this house by John Byers, built in the 1920s. And interestingly, he wanted to be so true to the Spanish architecture from the Mexican California period that the walls were built out of actual adobe, despite it not being a conventional building material in the 1920s. And then there's the area north of San Vicente, located right next to the Santa Monica Canyon. And this is where you're going to find the highest concentration of some of the most expensive houses in Santa Monica. I mean, these are massive estates. This is also where you're going to find the most expensive sale in Santa Monica at $25 million, which sold in 2014. And interestingly, they completely gutted the place and they recently put it back on the market for $60 million at 22,000 square feet on a massive 60,000 square foot lot. Now, one of my favorite streets in Santa Monica and Los Angeles in general is also located here, and that's La Mesa Drive. And aside from it having some of the biggest lots, some of the biggest houses, views to the Riviera Country Club and the mountains, one of my favorite things here is check this out. These massive trees with these massive roots. I mean, this is insane. They're pretty much just like taking over the sidewalk. And by the way, these are known as Moreton Bay fig trees, and they're original to Australia. Also, the street is pretty hidden, so unless you know about it, it's very unlikely that you've driven through it, which is great if you're looking for peace and quiet. But anyway, yes, if you're like, hey Daniel, you're a real estate agent, what's the best area that I can buy a house in Santa Monica? Yep, that's going to be the neighborhood of North of Montana. And by the way, my name is Daniel Rangel, real estate agent and resident of Santa Monica. If I can be of any help, it would be an honor. And for a free consultation on buying or selling, you can find my information in the description below. And if you like this video and for more Los Angeles real estate related videos, don't forget to hit like or subscribe. But either way, thanks a bunch for watching and have an awesome day.